Good evening. I'm David Lam, sitting in for Liang Zhang, and welcome to California Today. Here's a preview of some of our important stories for today. Homelessness is a major issue in the state, and there are now new issues stemming from the large number of people on the streets. Fires. We have details on how and why an increasing number of fires are being set near homeless encampments. After an FBI probe revealed a string of corruption in the city of Anaheim, one of the city council members spoke about what he saw happening with the city government. He confirmed what an FBI report said, that a cabal was running the city. And since so much controversy is surrounding the baseball team in Anaheim, another neighboring city is swooping in and offering to house the Angels. We'll have the details of who is making an offer. California's fire season is not just about fighting wildfires in the mountains. Cities and counties across the state are reporting a growing number of fires related to homeless encampments. NTD's Cynthia Kai reports.
Cities and counties across California are seeing an increase in homelessness. Oakland-based Seneca Scott, founder of an organization aimed to address the homeless crisis, says the situation is complex.
Homelessness started with the economic collapse in '08. It was exacerbated by policy, another economic collapse in 2020, and complete ineffective leadership, failed progressive policy, permissiveness of open-air drug zone, and housing first as a failure.
According to Oakland's biannual point-in-time count, the city has over 5,000 homeless individuals, compared to the 2,700 in 2019. But the increase in the homeless population is leading to another problem. The city is also seeing an increase in fires related to homeless encampments. So according to city data, there's on average 3 fires per day related to homeless encampments. And this is an increase from the 1 per day 2 to 3 years ago. What's causing this increase?
Well, it's a lot of reasons. First is we've had a 3-fold increase in our homeless population. So conventional wisdom would suggest that the fires would increase proportionately, and they have.
Oakland firefighters responded to 61 encampment fires in March and 53 in April this year. Between 2017 and 2020, Oakland Fire responded to nearly 1,000 fires at encampments. Scott says the fires result from 4 main causes.
What I can say from experience is that these fires happen for a variety of reasons. One is people trying to stay warm. And they fall asleep with a candle. Candles are what people use primarily to heat their tents. Candles are also primarily what people use sometimes to heat their drugs.
He says when people fall asleep, the lit candles can lead to a tent accidentally catching fire. Some encampments also become open-air drug zones, and fires have become routine in these areas. Of the 4 main causes, Scott says 2 are intentional.
Arson, people blowing up and destroying cars that have been used for crimes and robberies, happens all the time. People steal cars, then after they're done with whatever they're doing, they torch the cars.
Video footage has shown cars and RVs burning in encampment areas underneath Interstates 580 and 880. But the last reason is contrary to policy meant to help the homeless.
And the last is people set this stuff on fire on purpose because you hit a check and another tent from Red Cross or another nonprofit.
He says if someone really needs money, they will just burn their tents. Encampment fires are not just happening in Oakland. The city of Los Angeles reported a similar 3-fold increase of encampment fires in 2021. According to a Los Angeles Times report, LAFD responded to homeless-related fires at a rate of 24 per day during the first quarter of 2021. This made up 54% of all fire cases. NTD reached out to the Los Angeles Fire Department for comment. Meanwhile, in other parts of the state, Kern County's fire department reported that 39% of fires in November and December 2021 were attributed to homeless persons. The department estimates about 44% of fires since January 2022 can be attributed to suspected or known homeless people. Just earlier this month, Chico firefighters put out a homeless campfire that spread to vegetation just feet away from a neighborhood. Back in Oakland, Scott took us for a drive around an encampment site that stretches nearly a mile on Wood Street.
It's like a third world.
Worse.
Third world.
Worse. I've been all around the world.
They have Toyota.
I've been in slums in India that were not this bad.
Scott told us newer-looking cars often belong to drug dealers in the area. Burned houses can also be found nestled between other homes. But he said there is a solution. The city council approved and adopted the encampment management policy in 2020.
We just tried to make it work. Here's a list of do's and don'ts, and you cannot have any encampments 50 feet from businesses, schools, residences, or critical infrastructure, and we're going to follow that. The work's already been done, we just need some follow-through.
But the city hasn't followed through with the plan. Scott is one of the candidates running for Oakland mayor and hopes for more accountability in the city. He also hopes officials can follow through with existing planned solutions. Cynthia Kai, NTD News, California.
An FBI probe exposed widespread corruption in Anaheim's city government. In the aftermath, one city council member gave a behind-the-scenes perspective on a major contract that just went sour and the alleged corruption that came with it. The city of Anaheim in Southern California is home to Disneyland, the Angels baseball team, and a corrupt group of individuals pulling all the strings in government. That's according to City Council member Jose Moreno.
The city of Anaheim for decades, with the exception of 2 years, 2016 to 2018, has been run by a shadow government. It's been run and at what is now understood in the lexicon of Anaheim, a cabal. That's in our FBI documents. They called themselves that. They called themselves a family.
One member of the alleged cabal, former Mayor Harry Sidhu, resigned this week amid an FBI corruption probe. Moreno told California insider Siamak Karami that Sidhu misled the community in an obscure lease extension deal that was unfavorable for the city, but favorable for the manager of the Angels.
At least two of us thought, Denise Barnes and I, and the public, and the media, thought he was simply asking for a 1-year extension on the lease. What it was a reinstatement of the original lease, which meant his move, his agendizing this and then getting the council majority to go with him. They reinstated a lease, which meant he re-encumbered the land. He's back in control again for the land. We lost most of, if not all of our negotiating power. He gave that away.
Councilors just recently walked away from 3 years of negotiating with team owner Arte Moreno's development management company. The council voted unanimously on May 24th to void the $320 million deal with the Angels baseball team to purchase the Angel Stadium. The former mayor allegedly had under-the-table dealings with the owner.
And so now in retrospect, I could see exactly what happened. He had made a promise to Arte Moreno that whatever it takes, you're going to get a great deal out of the city for your interest if you help me win the mayorship. And he delivered.
Moreno added that it's difficult to run for office in Anaheim and to reach the residents due to the large corporations in Southern California.
And you're running against a machine which is the most powerful, arguably the most powerful media conglomerate in the world, the Disney Corporation. And then you're now running against also the interest of a Major League Baseball franchise. You're running against the interest of multinational corporate hotel chains who all want to maximize their profit.
To draw a comparison, he said the neighboring city of Santa Ana has 4 public swimming pools for locals, but Anaheim only has 1 public swimming pool. But he said his goal is to not point out for-profit companies, but rather how they do business.
So I don't mind, and that's how we operate. You start a business not as a nonprofit, but to make money. But it's different from making a profit to profiteering. That's different.
NTD reached out to both the Anaheim Mayor Pro Tem and Disney for comment, but did not hear back by press deadline. To watch the full program, you can find California Insider on YouTube or Epic TV on the Epic Times website. Amidst all the Angels Stadium drama, another city is offering a new home to the team. A day after Anaheim voided the Angels Stadium deal, Long Beach is talking about moving the baseball team's home to its city.
Long Beach city officials brought up old talks of making the city a new home for the Angels baseball team on Wednesday. That's a day after the city of Anaheim walked away from 3 years of negotiating the sale of the Angels Stadium to the baseball team's owner. Long Beach had considered building a waterfront stadium for the Angels in 2019, but those discussions ended when the baseball team entered exclusive negotiations with Anaheim. According to a Wednesday statement from the Long Beach City Manager's office, if the Angels are interested in continuing those initial discussions, Long Beach would re-engage in those discussions and seek direction from the city council. Long Beach officials originally planned to build the proposed stadium on a 13-acre elephant lot. It was previously used for circus elephants to gather next to the convention center. It was not immediately clear if the owner of the Angels baseball team is interested in negotiating with the city of Long Beach. The Anaheim City Council rescinded the stadium deal due to allegations of corruption involving Mayor Harry Sidhu, who has since resigned. According to an FBI affidavit, the former mayor shared confidential information with baseball team representatives. The two groups allegedly coordinated the sale in exchange for campaign contributions for his re-election.
Let's take a short break, but here's a look at what we've got for you when we come back. Groups are speaking out against safe injection sites. They say these sites, used for drug consumption under medical watch, are fueling problems rather than solving them. Gas prices are still at an all-time high, and travelers ahead of the Memorial Day weekend are feeling the high prices. We'll hear what potential travelers are doing. And a new Star Wars series premieres today, featuring an iconic character from the original series. We'll look at who was at the premiere. That and more on California Today. Several groups are speaking out against legalizing drug injection sites. They warned that it would pave the way to legalizing all drugs. NTD's Eileen Ang reports.
During a virtual press conference, leaders of multiple organizations voiced their strong opposition to Senate Bill 57, also known as the Controlled Substances Overdose Prevention Program.
The data show that drug deaths increased over the same period that they expanded supervised drug consumption sites.
Senator Scott Wiener introduced the bill, and the California Senate passed it last April. The intention is to create drug consumption locations that will have medical staff on site to avoid people overdosing. The sites are to be established in San Francisco, Oakland, and Los Angeles County. But opponents say the injection sites only make it easier and encourage people to use drugs even if they are not at a site.
I've gone out to say, look, there's a safe injection site literally 5 blocks away. Why don't you just go there and use that site? And they don't want to go that far. They said, why? And I get it, because when they have drugs in their hands, they're going to use it.
Moreover, the injection sites always becomes a magnet for drug dealers, drug addicts, robbers, and the like, hurting the nearby communities seriously.
They highlighted the now failed Tenderloin Linkage Center in San Francisco. It was designed to keep the open drug scene contained in an area, but instead has spread across 2 neighborhoods. The goal was to link people to drug recovery, but that part of the center has been shut down after roughly 4 months of operation because very few people received help.
The whole program is contrary to how they do it in Europe. In Europe, they pressure addicts engaged in dysfunctional, inappropriate behavior. They do not normalize drug consumption in those European cities. San Francisco is normalizing hard drug use, open-air drug dealing, and public camping as somehow normal behaviors that should be expected from people using hard drugs.
And the reason so much attention is being drawn to it recently is because of the deaths of folks that, come from well-to-do families. And it's tough because they're turning to these things to inject drugs like heroin. Obviously, they start with the opiate epidemic, and they switched over to heroin because heroin is much cheaper. So it's being involved, it's being engaged in fighting it.
A hearing for SB 57 is scheduled on June 1st.
California gas prices are the highest in the nation, and with gas prices not showing signs of slowing down this Memorial Day holiday weekend, some travelers are planning on staying closer to home. NTD's Jackie Rios reports.
Today starts the Memorial Day holiday weekend, and for a lot of people, it means gathering with friends, picnics, barbecues, and of course, travel. But with these prices, can people really afford it? We talked to one gas station manager in El Monte, just outside Los Angeles, and he told us about fuel prices and more. Are people filling up or just buying enough to get by?
It varies. You know, some people are filling up, but some people are just trying to get by.
Are you seeing an increase or decrease in sales?
Decreasing.
Are customers angry?
Some customers are angry. Some, they don't mind.
We talked to commuters about their holiday travel plans. Have you seen an impact regarding your monthly budget?
Yes, it has. It's impacting my monthly budget. It's getting expensive every time I fill.
So how much is it costing you now compared to like a year ago?
Like $55 to fill up my tank.
And how much was it like a year ago?
Lesser than that, maybe $30 to fill up my tank.
Actually, because of the gas prices, I don't have any plans. They'd be costing too much for me to do anything else but stay home, pretty much. So I'm kind of like on my own little lockdown because of the gas prices.
Whatever your holiday plans are, please stay safe. Jackie Rios, NTD News.
A 3-day Star Wars celebration is happening in Anaheim, California. It began on Thursday with a special event for upcoming Lucasfilm television productions. On Friday, the first episode of a new series starring Obi-Wan Kenobi launches online. And NTD's Andrew Thomas has the details.
Ewan McGregor stars and executive produced Obi-Wan Kenobi and explained why he reprised the role from the prequel films without there being a script.
It wasn't that they sent me a script and I said yes or no to it. We sort of developed the story together to a degree. It was going to be a movie at one point. Deborah Chow then came on and it became a TV series, and so with Deborah's brilliant direction, we ended up, I think, with a really good story, you know.
Also retaking his role is Hayden Christensen, although now he is Darth Vader instead of Anakin Skywalker. This meant the Canadian actor had to don the iconic black suit for the role.
I mean, it's such a incredible costume and such an iconic costume that you put it on and you can't help but feel that, and then certainly walking out on the set and sort of seeing people's reactions, that's always been good fun, and I've always really enjoyed that part of it.
The second television series soon to be launched is Andor, which follows the history of Cassian Andor from the film Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Although the character died at the end of the film, he lives on again in 2 seasons of Andor, which is set to start streaming in August. The character is played by Diego Luna.
I mean, I love the character, man. I would play this character for a long time if possible, because I really find a strong connection with this role. I think this role reminds us what we're capable of, It's about the people taking control. It's about you understanding that what matters to you might matter to others.
Aside from a poster and an appearance from Harrison Ford at the Lucasfilm panel, there were few film projects being showcased, while TV projects remained in the spotlight. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for an update on sports.
Warriors! It's time for your California Today Sports Roundup.
For the 6th time in 8 years, the Golden State Warriors will advance to the NBA Finals after beating the Dallas Mavericks for the Western Conference title. After the win, Stephen Curry was named the inaugural Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP. adding to his individual legacy that already includes 2 MVPs, a scoring title, and numerous three-point records. Rebounding played a huge part in this one, with the Warriors grabbing 51 boards to the Mavericks' 34, giving them the extra possessions they needed to take control of this game. Kevon Looney came up huge for Golden State, taking up 18 of those 51 rebounds all by himself. The Dallas Mavericks started Game 5 slow and let a 5-point first quarter deficit balloon into a 17-point halftime lead for the Warriors. And that was partly due to some hot shooting by Klay Thompson, who finished with 32 points on 50% three-point shooting. Stephen Curry only scored 15 points, but he dished out 9 assists. Draymond Green added 17 points along with 9 assists and 6 rebounds, and Andrew Wiggins tacked on 18. Jordan Poole came off the bench to score 16. For Dallas, their usual three-pronged attack of Spencer Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson, and Luka Doncic scored big numbers, but were not playing an efficient offense. Brunson got only 3 of his 10 shot attempts to fall, and Doncic had to take 28 shots in order to get 10 to go in. Only Dinwiddie was in rhythm, going 5 of 7 on his 3-point attempts and 7 of 12 overall. He finished with 26 points. The Warriors will face off against the winner of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. This could be the 4th championship win for the Warriors under the ownership of Joe Lacob and Peter Guber. We can call them a dynasty, but this is also the 3rd iteration of their championship roster. The days of Sean Livingston, Mo Spates, and Leandro Barbosa coming off the bench to help the Splash Bros feels like ancient history with this team. Same too with the 3 years Kevin Durant spent on the Warriors, who helped Golden State win 2 more championships but took both finals MVPs, leaving Stephen Curry with none. Through it all, 3 pieces have stayed in place for Golden State. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry have proven to be the one formula the rest of the NBA has to solve. In 2015, they shocked the NBA world, winning a title with a 3-point based attack. And 7 years later, they are still together, still shooting threes, and 4 wins away from winning another title together. Plenty of faces have walked in and out of Oracle Arena and now Chase Center, but this trio and their head coach, Steve Kerr, consistently put the team first and sacrificed for the greater glory of a championship. They already got 3, but this aging core can't stay on the court forever. We will soon see if this trio can add to their legacy with 1 more before it's all over. Mavericks 110, Warriors 120. LA Kings defenseman Sean Durzi went under the blade Thursday for surgery on his shoulder. While many details are not yet out about why he needed the surgery, one can deduce that Durzi likely played part of his 2022 campaign through injury. Durzi had a breakout rookie season for the Kings this year, appearing in 64 of the Kings' regular season games. He recorded 27 points, 121 blocked shots, and 74 hits in his first season. Durzi will likely take on more significant minutes for the Kings next season.
And that's all for the California Today Sports Roundup.
And that's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for a show, feel free to let us know. Our email is california.today@ntd.com. I'm David Lam, sitting in for Liang Jing. Have a wonderful weekend.